Government is set to respond to a University of the Free State study that's detected endocrine-disrupting chemicals in some sanitary pads and panty liners sold in South Africa. The Social Protection Cluster, co-chaired by Minister of Health Dr. Motsoaledi, will clarify the health implications and address public concerns. The briefing will explore what the findings mean for consumers and what regulatory steps may follow. Newzroom Africa's Zola Sholwana is at the GCIS and joins us now live. A very good morning to you, Zola. This is quite concerning for many consumers of those products across the country. What can we expect from that briefing with this cluster?
Well, Katleho, it is really concerning considering the fact that the brands that were mentioned there, if you look at it, these are brands that are used by the majority of women in South Africa. So when the news came out that there were findings by the University of the Free State, it caused a lot of panic amongst women across the country, where some of them were essentially asking what brand should we trust at this particular moment. But we know that following that investigation, the National Consumer Commission then conducted an investigation, and we will be told about those findings in today's briefing. But just to give us a reaction, Katleho, we are joined by Tracy Malawana, who is the founder of I Menstruate movement. Tracy, thank you very much for your time. I mean, you are an activist, and I want to get your initial reaction when, you know, we heard about this finding from the University of the Free State.
So as I Menstruate movement, firstly, we need to commend the University of the Free State for bringing this critical evidence to the public space. I think many of us were concerned about, you know, sometimes how some of these products smell. This is, you know, affirming that our concerns were valid. So as a citizen, as an activist, but also as a member of I Menstruate movement or a leader of I Menstruate movement, we are concerned, we are anxious, but this is not the moment to let our anxious, you know, overtake I guess our feelings at this point in time. We need to be focused, and we need to hold corporate accountable, but most importantly, we need to ensure that our government that fulfill its obligation, constitutional obligation, to ensure that our right to health, our right to dignity, and our right to bodily integrity is not compromised at this point in time.
Mm-hmm. And how concerned should menstruating people be about the potential health risks that we heard about, you know, with the study suggesting that in the long run you could be exposed to, you know, diseases such as cancer?
I would advise menstruating individuals, especially girls and women, and all the people who menstruate in South Africa, not to panic. You need to be concerned. You must be concerned. You must ask questions. But most importantly, we must ensure that we get the accountability that we deserve from these products that have exposed us to these, your endocrine disrupting chemicals that interferes with our hormones, and in a long run could cause a serious harm in terms of like sexual and reproductive, you know, health challenges. So I'd say that this is not the moment for us to, you know, lose our focus. We need to ensure that we get the accountability we deserve from government, but also from the manufacturers of these big, especially the big brands, because they advertise these products on TV as most trusted, you know, products. But look where we are today with, you know, the evidence or the findings by the University of the Free State. So I'd say let us focus on getting the accountability we deserve as citizens of South Africa.
Mm-hmm. Now, before I let you go, what does the study reveal about the current regulation of menstrual products in our country?
So it reveals the gaps that are there in terms of regulations, right? It reveals how when SAPS is testing some of these products, it means there are certain things that they are not, we are not like doing a thorough test. Yeah. So this is the moment where we need to address some of those issues. So in our statement that we released last week, we were calling on government to focus on, specific 5 things. So we're calling on Government of South Africa, led by the Department of Health and the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, but also, the institutions involved, including SABS, and Parliament, where oversight takes place, to ensure that they introduce binding national chemical safety standards. They conduct an audit in some of the menstrual products that are provided in schools through the Sanitary Dignity Program, and most importantly, they hold corporate accountable. We'll also call them the corporate industry to say, as manufacturers of menstrual products, whether your products were tested or not, you need to exercise corporate accountability. You need to account for your products. You need to recall some of these products that have, the chemicals that were found in some of the products that were tested until it is safe for them to return to our markets. So I'd say that this, moment, or like this study, reveals some of the gaps that we have when it comes to our policies or regulations in South Africa.
Thank you very much. That is Tracy Malawana, the founder of I Menstruate, and they have been, an organization that, advocates, for menstrual health and, of course, anything that is related to that. And they will be in attendance and hearing the findings that we will be hearing about, Katlego, from government officials that will be assuring, South African women that, all is well, if that's what will come out of today's briefing. As you would understand, that this caused great panic to a lot of people, because, as I have said, the brands that were mentioned are brands that, a lot of people in South Africa, or millions of South African women, are using. Now, when they heard about this study, or the findings of the study conducted by the University of Free State for a period of about 3 years, many people did not know where to go in terms of buying their sanitary products, like your sanitary pads and panty liners. So South African women are eagerly waiting to hear what will come out of today's briefing.
No, it's certainly a very important one, as you mentioned. I mean, the alternatives are not that many for South African women. So to allay the fears there by the minister today is going to be very important. That's Zola Sholwana out at the GCIS ahead of that briefing by the Minister of Health.